BattlefieldOne podcast is brought to you by you. Yes, you, the listener. Thank you so much for listening to us, and thank you all the patrons that support our Battlefield adventure. Wait for the middle of the show to know more about Patreon, or go to patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Enjoy the show.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again. And
That was something, right?
That was something.
I'm sorry, you canceled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed.
Oh, I would love
It
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to
Yeah,
see
like I said.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of BattlefieldOne podcast, episode 32, I think. A podcast that always talks about, you guessed it, the Battlefield franchise. My name is Tom, also known as the Lanky Soldier, and I'm joined by a returning guest, Andre. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing fine.
Enjoyed recording the podcast with me last week?
Of course I did, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Nah, I just forced you here.
Yeah, that's true.
I just forced you here. So anyway, we will be going through the community leaks, opinions about the leaks and all that kind of stuff, and we'll see how it goes, because, you know, Battlefield community can be a bit heated most of the while, you know, about anything. So we're gonna go to the leaks and everything, just so people, you know, they understand how the community feels about the game. So I think it's kind of important to understand what's the temperature. And no Ray today because he's busy celebrating his 10-year anniversary of his marriage. Well, loser. Imagine
Good
that.
for him.
Imagine that. Well, loser. Marriage for 10 years? So, okay, I'm just
Who
kidding.
needs a partner?
Yeah, who needs a partner? Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, congratulations to him and his wifey. But anyway, so I'm running on Luchel and Monster Energy Drink. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, so should be fun. But I'm committed to this process. I'm committed to this podcast, so we're gonna do this podcast like proper professionals that we are, and we're gonna do it properly.
Hell yeah. Consistency is key.
Fuck yeah. So it's gonna be you, me, and the listeners listening to this podcast in a deep, I don't know what to call it, deep emotional connection as we talk about Battlefield.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And again, I have to put this disclaimer again, like from the last episode, because we did get new listeners from last episode. So I will repeat the same bit from the last episode when me and Andre covered the leaks. So there's no misunderstanding between all of us here, you know. So we're on the same page. We're an independent production that has no internal connections to Electronic Arts. Yes, some of us are game changers here, aka part of the creator network, but we're not getting any special privileges from Battlefield Labs playtest whatsoever. None of us participated in the playtest, nor we had any communications from EA about this playtest or Battlefield Studios, anything like that. None of us, or anyone had communication about that. We're not bound by the NDAs that people had to sign to play this playtest. Selection process was random, very limited number of people got access to it, and none of us won the lottery, unfortunately, and that's okay, because we can talk about all of this and everything we discussed, last episode, and everything we're gonna be discussing in this episode. All the information we got from people that been posting on Twitter, Reddit, Telegram, YouTube, whatever the case may be, any internet website you can think of. That's why we're all getting this information. Some information could be wrong, we don't know, because again, it's leaks, nothing to do with us. And we just put our opinion on the leaks, because again, nothing to do with us. So everyone know that we're on the same page, this is where we stand on the leaks. And I'm sorry if I mumbled all that bit not clearly enough. Like I said, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep and I have a Monster Energy in front of me. So I'm sorry if I screwed up something, but we'll see how it goes.
Remember to fuel his monster and sleep deprivation addiction, subscribe to Patreon.
Yeah, that too. So you can support my addiction of making this podcast being professional as possible. Anyway, so before we continue, we have time codes. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. We have time codes. Just click on the topic you want to listen, because I understand you don't have a whole hour. I get that. We have our socials. Funny thing with socials, I find last week, 2 weeks ago, I was working on our Instagram and TikTok page and YouTube. So we're finally posting shorts about the podcast, and we're promoting the podcast to a more bigger audience. That took a while to set it up. Not because it's hard to make shorts. Well, one, it was a bit difficult to figure out how to post shorts, how to take a specific clip from the episode and make it into a short, because sometimes we have a conversation for 10 minutes, right? And how do you try to shove that into 1 minute? So I made a system. I made templates and everything. That took me a while, but finally have it. And as soon as I sorted the template, start posting shorts almost on a daily basis, and that's perfect. But yeah, so we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have YouTube Shorts and everything. So check it out. Just give us a follow, and of course our personal accounts. So we have a Google Forms document. So if you want to give us feedback about anything, what kind of horrible intro this was, what kind of amazing hosts we are, questions, anything, that use that Google Forms document in the description. Just tell us how you feel about this podcast, whatever the case may be. We read, because it's the easiest way to contact us directly, because you don't need an account and anything. You just click on the link and start typing your feedback. That easy. And as Andre said, Patreon. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. And last episode, it was 3 of us recording for the Patreon. It was me, you, and Ray. And honest opinion, what train wreck it was. But that's what happens when all of us gather together just to shit talk, or no, not shit talk. It's not shit talk. We were literally just discussing the leaks, and 40 minutes in, we're just free falling all the topics we can think of. So it was fun. But I re-listened to all of it to make sure that everything is in proper condition. It's definitely just a bunch of guys, bunch of friends gather together and talk about something they care about. And yeah, that episode was quite something. Train wreck in my eyes, but a train wreck that is actually entertaining to listen. So
a passionate train wreck.
Yeah, it was a passionate train, but that's what happens when all of us gather together and just talk. So yeah,
true.
patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Check out. It helps us support the show and all that kind of stuff. So, right, let's talk about some Battlefield stuff. So let's start with the news. And I think it's appropriate for you, Andre, because you want to play Battlefield 2042 recently. So, news. There's a new event called War Machine. So, first and foremost, I'm kind of surprised they're even updating the game. And they're still doing events and premium events, mini battle passes, whatever, for this game. I'm surprised. Props to the developers regarding that. So anyway, there's a new event called War Machine, and it's basically, as I copy-pasted the description of that event from the YouTube video that they posted about the event. So, take back control of the precious resources by holding a majority of capture points in domination, take arms against the rogue AI who started this fight, and wipe out her... Oh, it's a her, okay. Relentless horde of AI robots in Override. Fight and take charge of single capture point as hell rains down on you. If your squad can handle the onslaught, the King of the Hill coming 1st of April. Secure event unlockable rewards like machines versus humans cosmetics with 30 tiers of all new event pass. So yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to the point. I can't believe they're still updating the game and making events like that. And honestly, as I watched the video of the War Machine event, they're gonna have it 2042. Cosmetics look good. I mean, it's still, fantasy robots and all that kind of stuff, AI, sure. But it's more grounded than any specialist they released, so...
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at anything yet from the new update. But I'm glad that they're still releasing updates for this game. I mean, we both know that if they would have abandoned 2042, it would have been their, I think, third live service game that they just straight up abandoned. And that also wouldn't be wouldn't shine a good light on the next Battlefield, you know. Let's just say, for example, that the next one is terrible for some reason, and no one is going to play it, and they are going to abandon it again. You know, I don't think there would be a next Battlefield if they just abandon their live services.
Are you actually
why-
are you thinking the same way? Like, you just read my notes and thinking that's the way it is? Because the way I'm thinking, right, I literally don't understand why they're doing it unless there's some sort of monetary value. So if
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
they
so-
want to make money, but they also probably want to see if they can get a few more people into the game before
maybe
the next one comes out, you know. If
Because-
you are a returning player, you want content, right? And no, I actually haven't read all of your notes.
Yeah,
and
okay,
this
so
is
it's
my
literally-
honest opinion.
our
Actually,
opinion
yes.
is kind of the same then.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
just
it's,
I wrote it down for myself there.
I think it's the most logical conclusion you can make about this, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, because this. I mean, sure, this content was made, but then again, it doesn't mean you have to release it and make sure that it's released in good condition.
Yes.
So it kind of tells me two things. Either people still buy these cosmetics for Battlefield 2042, and that's why they're releasing it. Or two, it's literally just to, what's the word? Condition people for the next Battlefield game. You're right, like, because like, hey, we're not gonna. You might have distrust about Battlefield 2042, but hey, we're still updating the game, even though we're not really making any money, but we're still updating the game, so you can actually check out the new game and pre-order and all that kind of stuff. Hey, check out Battlefield Labs, because we actually care about our games. So maybe that. So
I mean, maybe it's a bit of both, you know.
Maybe.
Also, I just checked. The spring sale is currently live on Steam, and you could buy 2042 at its lowest price ever for €4.80 for the standard edition. It's minus 92% off.
which I think I talked to Ray, or was it you? I can't remember. I talked to someone on this episode, or on this podcast, that for that price, Battlefield 2042 is not a bad game, honestly, for that price.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's worth to check out for this price. Let's just say it like that.
yeah, for
It's not the best Battlefield I've ever played, and you know I've pretty much only played beta and maybe a month of EA Play at its launch, and then abandoned it up until recently. But you know, they made improvements. It's a bit better than how it got released and everything. And yeah, for this price, it's definitely worth it to get back into the game, the franchise, and yeah, have a better feel for the next Battlefield. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah. So there's some sort of value, I guess, updating Battlefield 2042. Even though I said a year ago, before they even officially cancelled the updates for Battlefield 2042, they did say they're cancelling seasons or whatever, right? I guess this is not a new season, this is a mini event, basically. So I guess that's the legal jargon we're dealing with here. Which is fine. I mean, it helps the game, I guess. It helps a little bit, so I'm gonna complain about more content for a game that I'm probably not gonna touch that much anyway. But I'm not gonna complain about that. Like, if people love it, it's fine. I mean, but yeah, there's some sort of probably deeper reason than, oh, we feel like making content for the game because there's no new Battlefield coming out for a while. Must be some business decision here. There must be a decision. You can't, because resources, it's not like they have a limited resources. Someone had to go there and do this, right?
Yes.
So there's some sort of business reason for all of that. Okay, but yeah, Battlefield 2042 is getting a new event. Looks pretty okay and cool. And fantasy, sure. Robots, AI and stuff. Terminator. But more grounded than anything Battlefield released in the last couple of years, I guess. So it's fine, whatever. I'll check it out maybe, because you do say you want to play a couple rounds. So we're recording on today's Saturday, and it's gonna be up on Tuesday, the event. So I guess we can play whenever after Tuesday. Right.
Cool.
Next in news, Okay, I'm not really a fan of this. I don't think I even want to talk about this because there was a joke posting for Ripple Effect Studios, I think for a software engineer or something like that, and basically the job listing. That's why I'm not a big fan of going to job listing news, because people latch on like the job listing, like, oh look, this is what they're doing for the next game. Oh, that's what their plans for the next game, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's just a job listing. I don't think it's really important, but it's an interesting stat came from that job listing. 100 million players and 5 billion hours later, the Battlefield team is looking to define the future of the first-person shooter. So basically, 100 million players played Battlefield games, 5 billion hours being played by these players playing various Battlefield games, and the rest is just not important. But like I said, was it last episode or 2 episodes ago, this is definitely the most ambitious Battlefield game that is coming, with 4 studios working on this game. So they're not wrong about that, but it's an interesting stat, 100 million players. I mean, that's how big the franchise is, according to EA, which is a lot of players. Yeah, so
You know what just came to my mind?
Well, what's up?
Maybe this is a little bit off topic. Right
Yeah,
now,
go
but
on. It's like I'm mumbling anyway.
What if EA would just split the franchise across multiple studios, like they do with Call of Duty? So
Yeah, you're not the first. Yeah, I remember we had a conversation like that. I think it was like last year, episode 16 maybe. We were reading comments from people, right? What do they want for the next Battlefield game? And that was right after Battlefield 2042 support was cut officially. And there was a message, a Google Forms question from someone. I think it was, don't remember his name. Anyway, there was a question, right, sent to us. And he basically suggested, oh, why if we split the franchise to 2 parts, basically? Because people complain what Battlefield's supposed to be. Is it a milsim-like a type of experience, or is it like a more arcade experience? So he suggested, oh, let's split it to the main titles and your arcade like Bad Company series, right? So you have your main Battlefield title and you have your spin-off goofy Bad Company series, like as an example, right?
I don't know that. That's not a good.
Yeah, we kind of disagree with that. So I don't know if you were aiming for the same thing or not.
No, definitely not. I mean, they really need to figure out what they want to be with the game. If they want to be a milsim or a more arcadey thing. But like I said earlier, one thing that is very important is consistency, and that's something that Call of Duty really nails, even across multiple studios that make the game, right? So do not divert from that. That is just experimentation, and you will, in my opinion, not keep your audience. It will always fluctuate between releases.
Yeah, that too, because people grow out, trends change, all that kind of stuff. God knows what.
What I kind of meant is that if other studios from EA can, take on the franchise, other studios could also focus on other projects. Maybe they just need, a different project to, keep things fresh. If you work on one thing your entire life, it gets kind of boring and stale, I guess. And I remember in an interview that is at least 10 years old. I think is he called Carl Magnus, the one that used to lead DICE?
Sounds like a familiar name. Yeah, was it
Something
Carl
like that.
Magnus or what? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
a guy
I
named Magnus.
don't know if he's still there, but there is
Probably
one thing
not.
that I still remember is that one thing he said that I still remember is that DICE does not want to be a Battlefield factory. They just don't just want to make Battlefield, and that's pretty much how their future ended. They are only making Battlefield and nothing else. And
They're not even the leads
No.
of the franchise anymore either.
yeah, it's another sad thing, I guess. I didn't know that, but
Actually,
still,
you know what? I said before, I'm actually excited about this Battlefield, not because of the the leaks we saw and everything and how the game looks. No, I'm actually excited for this next game is because this is gonna be this is gonna be a mainline title, basically a reboot of the franchise, and it's basically being led by people from with the outside perspective on the franchise. They're not hardcore Battlefield players, but they're people with a proven record of making good games. The group manager of Battlefield franchise is Byron Beatty, and he created Call of Duty Warzone. And then you have Vincent Pella that created Call of Duty, created Apex Legends, created Titanfall. They both have really good records of making good games, and when you give them a franchise like Battlefield, and suddenly they have to make Battlefield, right? But with their own spin and everything, with a different perspective. They're not hardcore Battlefield players like, Battlefield needs to be this way and only this way. They don't care. They just want to make a good game, and which means a good Battlefield game. So that's why I'm kind of excited for different vision or perspective. And I'm kind of glad that DICE is not really in charge anymore. Yeah, they're making the multiplayer and the core features, the core foundation of the game, yeah. But they leads in that way. But at the end of the day, they're not the ones calling the shots. Is the Byron Beat and Vincent Pella, they're making here, okay, this is what we want to make, and that's what we try to make. And I think that alone is kind of exciting to me, because it's not going to be stuck in that mentality Battlefield only has to be this. Expand the franchise, make it go a bit in different directions, make it a bit unique and so on, but at the same time rely on the past to make the game a bit more, still Battlefield, right? That still has the core pillars what makes Battlefield fun in the first place. So that's why I'm kind of excited for this game. Not because of the, the leaks and everything that we saw, but just the idea behind it sounds really interesting. But that's my opinion about all this.
It will be interesting, that's for sure. And we will see once the game releases. It's all just talk until we get our hands on the game.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a... No, I'm not even gonna mention that, so I ignore that, because it's not even in the notes, so I'll leave it for the next podcast episode. Right, so there was some stats from the playtest that appeared. So
I do have an opinion on this one.
Okay, so I found it on Reddit originally, but the original source is from Telegram. And I guess it's from a player that had access to the playtest, and DICE posted something about the playtest, all the stats and everything, and we're gonna talk about it quickly. So I'm just gonna read this quickly. So there's a new playtest happening on the 21st of March, so next Friday. The next playtest will be held next Friday. Invites should be expected at the beginning of next week, Monday, Tuesday. The developers have also worked on user feedback. What will change? The pace of the battle, especially the movement of both the map and the fighters. I love they call it not players. They say fighters. I don't know why. It's just kind of amusing to me. Yeah. Improvements to sliding and landing mechanics. Developers are still selecting optimal perimeters. Ugh, can't talk. Improvements in death dynamics, dragging, respawning, health, HP count, resupply, visibility of fighters, and understanding what killed you, which is good. Infantry versus equipment balance changes will significantly affect the future playtest. So developers also shared some statistics. 12% have revived their teammates. I guess it's from all the playtest, people that played the playtest. One of the players managed to kill 16 players in one session.
Pro gamer right there.
Yeah, pro gamer right there with 16 kills. So, but again, I wonder is because the rounds were short. It could be that. RPG is the best choice of players to destroy tanks. It was chosen by 48% of players, which I don't think it's... Anyway, I'll continue. 37.2% played for all classes, and only 8.9% for one. 14.2% tried more than 5 weapons per session. The developers are asking for more experimentation. Also, if you're part of the first playtest, you'll be part of the future playtest. Duh. Okay, what's your opinion about this?
Well, I have two opinions. One for the stats about the revived teammates.
Yeah, that's low.
I don't really remember, and I probably also haven't watched enough footage from the leaks, but one of the reasons why I don't revive in, for example, Battlefield 5 and 2042 is that you're stuck in an animation that is way too long. For example, Battlefield 4, you charged up your defib to make sure that your teammate comes back with 100% health, or you just quickly tapped him to revive him with, I don't know, like let's just say 10 HP.
Yeah.
I like that. You don't need unnecessary animations in your multiplayer games. Like I said, I don't know how it is right now in the new Battlefield, but that's one of the reasons why I don't revive anymore. And there's also, in Battlefield 4, there's also a squad perk that the charging up of the defibrillator is much faster. Another thing that you can implement, or probably is implemented, because
So I'm guessing
squad score streaks are back. And another thing about dragging, we've talked about a former developer's Twitter posts before we
Cool
started
Sky,
the
Cool
podcast.
Sky.
I'm not sure if this is an upcoming thing that we will talk about later, but
I'll leave it for the next episode because it's a lot, but you can mention it if you want to.
I mean, he mentioned that. We also know this, that dragging was planned for Battlefield 5, but it was not implemented because of janky animations and physics and making it look realistic enough, right? I feel like they should not implement dragging, because it's another animation that you're stuck in where you can't defend yourself.
I think apparently you can cancel it.
Sure, you can cancel it, but it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. I still wouldn't use it. It's still an inconvenience, the same inconvenience that is the animation for reviving teammates. But you can argue about that, I guess. Doesn't matter. What they should, in my opinion, implement is let me, as a downed player, move around a bit. Let's say you have 20 seconds on the ground. You start bleeding out, you have 20 seconds until you can get revived. Let me push my body to a safe spot, but make it so that I bleed out faster. So let's say I go behind cover for someone to revive me, right? And the person doesn't have to drag me. He could, charge up his defibrillators, for example, until I get around the corner. That's the thing that I would like to see more, not the inconvenience. Let's just say inconvenience of
Now you say that.
dragging someone and then going into another animation to revive someone. That is, in my opinion, again, so interrupting the flow of my experience. Let's just call it my experience. If you want me to help my team or be a team player, whatever, don't make me do things that I don't want to do. Let's just say it like that. Because the only reason in Battlefield 4, for example, is why I revived and everything is because it was quick and convenient.
Now you mentioned that. Okay, so I want to mention two things. One, I think the dragging is being introduced for. It's not for the multiplayer. I think it's being implemented for the battle royale. So they're testing it.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
That's still a stupid feature.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but just shut up. The reason why I mentioned that let me move around when I'm downed is because I played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. And Doc, the operator, he has his revive pistol, that you can revive people with from, I don't know, it's just a kilometer away or whatever. And
kilometer away.
The person needed to be in line of sight. If you're not there, what do? The player moves to his line of sight and scream, "Use your pistol on me and revive me." It's another thing that only takes like 2 seconds. You switch, you shoot, the guy is revived, all good. No dragging, no stupid animation to get him up. I mean, I guess you have an animation, if your friend is down, you have to go physically to him and get him up, if I remember that correctly. But yeah, let's not get into Siege, but let's just say I prefer moving around while downed instead of someone dragging me.
See, so yeah, like I said, one, I think is being implemented for the Battle Royale. They're testing it now here, which makes sense. And two, I actually was about to probably fully agree with you about, hey, let me move around when I'm down, right? Because, yeah, let me do that, because it sounds like a good feature, right? And while the other player, charges their defibs and everything, and charges, revives you with 100%, perfect. I think I would like it. Then I think about, imagine you've played Operation, let's say, Metro or Locker, right? And every time you kill a player, you just see loads of bunch of down players just crawling behind the corner while you're trying to shoot them, but you can't because they're already dead. You shot them, but there's like 10 players crawling behind the corner to be revived. I can imagine that looks so fucking goofy. But so
I mean, now that you mention it, yes. that is a funny thought, but I mean,
so funny.
You could also just implement that you can shoot the guy again, and he is not being he can't move anymore, or whatever. Like I said, you can argue so much about this.
Fuck,
you can.
There was a feature in Battlefield 2022
yeah.
like that, or a mode or something that worked like that. That you shoot them again. I can't remember what mode was it, but it was something like that. But yeah, that would be so funny. They're all crawling behind the corner, but you can't push because otherwise you're gonna die because there's like other 10 players waiting around the corner, but just 10 players just crawling around the corner. it's just like, yup.
That's funny, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
hilarious.
still, I mean, you could also keep some things Battle Royale only and core multiplayer only.
They has to be separated. Yeah. If we learned anything from Call of Duty, for example, it has to be separated.
Yeah.
It has to be separated.
Surprise! This was not timestamped. We hope you're enjoying the show so far, but we need to stop for a second and tell you about some important stuff. And now that we have your attention, it's time to tell you all about our amazing Patreon that is helping us keep the show going. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier.
Some Patreon exclusiveness. We here at Patreon would love for
You sound like every nerd in all the 90s TV shows.
Battlefield 1 podcast was rebooted in March of 2023. We learned a lot of lessons from our previous shows that consisted of 41 episodes, and we've been building amazing foundations for the future with this current show. There's a reason why we're the best Battlefield-related podcast available on Spotify and anywhere else. We've also had the honor of being listened to by DICE, Ripple Effect, and other developers as well. Now, we want to share even more with you through our Patreon.
And I've never seen her. So I will be crying and yelling. And I will not be the same person I am right now.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that kind of emotion. I know we're emotionally close and everything, but I don't think we're that emotionally close.
Yeah, that will be an experience of its own.
We want to thank everyone that has joined as a free member or subscribed to our Patreon in the last year. The support is greatly appreciated, always was, and always will be. It's amazing, and it only motivates us to continue with our Battlefield journey. By simply becoming a free member or even subscribing to any paid tier, you're not only supporting the show, but you're also getting a lot of content back in return.
Right, because Call of Duty gets so annoying sometimes, I actually got so desperate I installed League of Legends again.
Oh my god. The perks of any tier is you'll get ad-free early access to all of our future episodes. You can already listen to the previous episodes ads-free as well, simply by being a free member. There's no more waiting, no more interruptions, just pure unfiltered Battlefield content straight to your ear holes, from our mouth holes, and anywhere else. It's amazing, isn't it?
The only reason why CTE did as well as it did back in the day, guys, is because it wasn't locked down to secrecy. Those that couldn't participate were still able to see what was going on. That's the point that I'm getting at right now.
We're also giving you a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into making the Battlefield 1 podcast or any other content we produce, from planning sessions to recording mistakes and everything in between. You'll get an insider's perspective on how we bring each episode to life pretty much from start to finish.
And the reason why I'm saying
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's all my fault.
It's all your fault, Ray. How did you ruined the whole show? We need to cancel it again.
Just gotta can it for another 8 months again. Just appear out of nowhere with
we need to cancel it again.
Colors.
Ray, what the fuck did you do?
And that's only Battlefield. We're also offering access to our exclusive Patreon podcast series, The Live Gaming Gathering. This is a show where friends and special guests get together and talk about everything from the video game industry to movies and, whatever else is on our minds at that particular time. With more than 40 episodes already available, there's hours upon hours of content for you to listen to.
All right, I think we need to move on because we've been kind of on this subject for about the last 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
We got a couple of things in order.
Are you feeling better now? Let this
Yes,
team off.
I do feel better. Oh no, wait, one more thing. For example, Angelo. We were in discussion.
I'm not going to mention any names.
Trust me, these are some of the most fun and amazing conversations we have ever had on the show. Because it's just us being us, relaxed and actually having fun. Almost like you're sitting alongside us with the conversation. Yeah.
So the reaction from the Fortnite community is like, okay, every time we see a Cybertruck in the server, it's our mission to drop everything we're doing and send that player back to the lobby.
We also believe in keeping our patrons informed, so we post monthly recaps to let you know what you probably missed during last month's episode, and we're making sure that you're not missing anything important. Just recently, we opened a brand new Discord server where people can talk to each other and get all of the latest updates about our content or the Lanky Soldier channel. Find the link in the description to this episode or at our Patreon. No subscription needed.
You are, as a
You
player.
have been measured. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been measured.
Because we're confident that you'll love the content we're creating, we're offering a free trial that you can use at any time. We believe we're making good content that will make you stay, and we would not be offering free trials if we didn't think so.
I've seen a lot of people like literally get excited, like, you know what? This looks very familiar, clearly ripped from somewhere, but damn it, that looks good.
So, if you want to support the show and get all of these amazing extras, head on over to patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep delivering the content that you enjoy. Thank you for being part of the Battlefield community, and thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to seeing you on our Patreon. Now, let's get back to the show.
But yeah, interesting stats. Only 12%. Yeah, I don't know how the revive works in this playtest. I think I saw it, but it was not anything, substantial for me to judge.
Yeah.
12% people only revived their teammates, which is low. I mean, it's pretty low, even if it's like 4 classes, right? Let's say divide by 20%. 25. It's still low if it's like 25% are playing medic. It's still kind of low. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's not low, but I don't know. I need to compare it to something. Again, at the end of the day, stats mean nothing if there's no, to compare it to something. Maybe that's the thing. But yeah,
I literally don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Because I play the game how I want it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't really care, but it's just interesting stats. So yeah, new playtest happening this Friday, and if we're not part of it, okay. So for anyone that's confused, if any of us do get access to the playtest, we're not gonna talk about the playtest. Simple as that, because we're signing NDAs. It's we're gonna respect the NDA. But if we don't get the access to the playtest, we're gonna talk about it. And if when any of us do get the access to the playtest, well, we can always discuss the people that leak. We can always discuss that people leak for the general public. That's why I don't think NDA makes any sense for Battlefield Labs. Me and Ray did predict it. They're probably gonna drop the NDA for the second playtest. Still might happen, but I remember I saw a tweet from David Sutherland, and he did say that, I think he replied to me actually. I think he replied to me, and I think I asked him, do you guys think in dropping the NDA for the second playtest, because it's not sustainable, what's the point? But from the way he explained to me, I don't know if it's like because corporate in him is talking to me, or that's how they think, that they're still gonna keep the NDA for reasons. And I don't like that. It's just like, it's a kind of, just remove the NDAs. Just let everyone record proper footage and represent the game properly. Because right now, there's a lot of misinformation happening, and DICE can't control the leaks. They can't. I'm sorry, you can't. You go to your private Discord or private Telegram account or whatever the case may be, people leaking shit. I mean, it's unavoidable. But maybe that's the plan. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of find it goofy that they have NDA for this. But hey, it is what it is. Right.
No,
Well,
a question.
Yeah, go on.
Do you remember the playtests on the CTE for Final Stand, they were under NDA too.
Were they?
And I think it was
No.
under NDA. I'm pretty sure it was under NDA.
No, I remember footage. I remember videos from Jack Frags and everyone else.
Really?
Yeah,
Are
there
you
was. I never remember a day when CT was under NDA.
I don't. I thought something was being tested and it was under NDA. I thought it was Final Stand, but I guess I'm misremembering.
I mean, granted, I do misremember some stuff because it's been so long ago.
Yeah, it's over 2
But
years.
I don't think it was. I really don't. I don't remember CT being under NDA ever, like ever. I don't remember. I don't think there was. Because I remember we talked about it, and none of us cared about any NDAs. So that's why I don't think we had any NDAs.
I really don't remember.
Yeah, well, maybe it was something else. Maybe it was, I don't know. But yeah, let's continue. So the title of this episode: how the community is feeling about the playtest, about the leaks and everything. So before we continue, I want to set the stage. Here's the thing. If you've been listening for the last 30 minutes, you probably know what to expect when we're gonna talk about the Battlefield. Like, what's the community's temperature about this alpha, playtest, leaks, whatever. So you probably expect, you can't expect, what you're gonna expect from us and so on. But I still want to set the stage for anyone like new listeners, how we're gonna approach this. So what we're dealing here is, before we go through community's opinions about the new Battlefield game. So as we go through each point, I will mention my opinion on top of that, and Andrew will mention his, and probably our opinions is not going to be the same too. And I personally go from a wannabe game designer, wannabe comparative personality, while caring about the canon and in-universe storytelling. And that's how I'm gonna approach this, feedback from the community about this game. That's how I'm approaching this, right? I want a balanced game, somewhat in a comparative spirit, but at the same time, I do care about the, the aesthetics, all that kind of stuff, and the stuff about the game, the visuals, all that stuff. I don't know where Andrew is coming from. Casual consumer, I guess.
Yeah, these days I'm just a casual.
Yeah, so you don't really care about, you just want a good game. So that's your opinion. So
I want to get home from work, have some fun with my friends, and I don't care.
Yeah, so I'm like somewhat in the middle. I want a competitive game, but at the same time, I do want a fun game that is like not competitive all the time. I do care about the aesthetics, all that kind of stuff. And sorry if my voice is gone. I have no idea where it's gone. And so, and when it comes to what Battlefield stands for, like the actual Battlefield franchise, all of you listening, I bet every single person listening to this podcast right now has a perfect Battlefield game in their head, and Battlefield means a lot of different things to us. Every single person has a different opinion what Battlefield means to them. So we all have different type of Battlefield that we all want. So you can only imagine being a developer on this franchise and try to come up with something that majority would actually enjoy, right? So when we read these opinions about the temperature for the community about this playtest and the alpha and everything, you have to keep in mind, everyone has their own idea what Battlefield is. And basically, the whole Battlefield franchise right now has 3 generations. The way I call it, the OG generation, which is Battlefield 1942, 2142. That's the generation. Battlefield 2, that's the OG generation. Then you have the Battlefield Vets generation, which is Battlefield 3, 4, 1. This like Ray, for example, I put Ray in that generation. I put myself in that generation. And the 3rd generation of Battlefield players right now is, I call it the court refugees. the people that playing Call of Duty, sick of Call of Duty, don't want to do anything with Call of Duty, and just want to go to Battlefield because it's something different. And that's not a bad thing. So that Battlefield means a lot of different things to a lot of people. So when we talk about some specific opinion or whatever, everyone has a different opinion of what Battlefield is to them. And like some people agree, some people don't. But that's how we have to navigate through this confusing hellscape of different opinions what Battlefield is. So that's what we're approaching with, like, when we talk about the community temperature. So all of us have different opinions. So don't take anyone's opinion as as the most important one, because you're not the developer, and if you are, I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. It's just, Battlefield community can be a bit special, really special, and I do want, no, I'm gonna leave it for the next episode, because, yeah, I usually plan episodes like three episodes ahead, so all the topics and everything, because I discover some stuff and I want to discuss certain stuff. So I'm just gonna, I'll leave it for the next episode. I'm just mumbling now. But anyway, how the community is feeling about the game. From what I've seen so far, people love the aesthetics. They're satisfied with what they're seeing. But people started to notice like stuff that they don't really like from the playtest. Because, like, for example, the people commented about floating gun animations. The gunplay looks a bit simplified. Someone was quick-scoping, apparently, and people don't like that. Some immersion breaking elements like squad mates' outlines instead of the name tag above their head, flag capture areas visible in the game world, and loads of different opinions and dividing opinions about all this stuff. So I'm just gonna straight about, for example, they talk about the movement. They talk about the movement. Most popular comment I've seen so far is the movement. That apparently it's too fast to some people. My opinion, if you haven't played the game, you can't really comment on the movement. That's the way I see it. Yes, I can make maybe an opinion and a judgment, some sort of, but I'm not gonna say this way it's supposed to be or how it's supposed to be, because, again, I haven't played the game. Yeah, when you like watch, shitty granulated noisy footage, 480p resolution, it's kind of hard to judge the game. And also because this is an alpha, floaty animations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we also have to remember, and I think I mentioned last episode and so on, that this game is built on the Battlefield 2042 foundation. We said it before, and we'll repeat again. People might like that idea, but that's the truth. That's what we're working with. It is built on Battlefield 2042. So you will see some quirks visible from that game. I mean, crap. When the first time they showed the footage of this game, like the first 10 seconds of the, the first 10 seconds of this game, whatever, it did give me Battlefield 2042 vibes. It's like updated 2042. And that's probably it. I don't know, but people think the game is a bit too fast. I don't want to make a quick judgment about that, because again, FOVs, different weapons, all that kind of stuff. For example, there was a leaked LMG gameplay from someone, right? Mm-hmm. And people were complaining that the way the character moving the LMG was too fast, because like it's a heavy gun and so on, but he's moving like it's like a stick, right?
Yeah.
I see, this is not a movement thing. This is just simple animations, and I think it's gonna be fixed it up, cleaned up and all that kind of stuff. Make it a bit more make sense for the gun. It's like stuff like that people complain. I don't want to put too much complaining or not even complaining, just commenting about it, because it's a pre-alpha, alpha, whatever. I don't want to put too much stock into that, because I know things gonna change. But I fully disagree, from what I've seen, that the game is too fast. I think this is not faster than Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 were, from what I've seen.
I mean, it all comes down to personal preferences, right? For you, it could be slow. For another one, it could already be too fast. And I don't know. They should have a vision of how they want their game to be, and they should stick to it.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, because at the end of the day, it's not our game; it's their game. It's
exactly.
As in like DICE, Ripple Effect, whole Electronic Arts, the whole Battlefield Studios. They literally created the term Battlefield Studios, so they can say, hey, this is made by Battlefield Studios that consists of 4 studios, just to put like a name to the game. You know, it's not 4 studios working on the game. It's Battlefield Studios, which is designed to make a Battlefield game. It's their game at the end of the day, and it's their vision, and we can only give feedback about the vision. It's up to them to decide, hey, is this vision we want to pursue or not? How are people feeling about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can't make everyone happy. Someone will always complain, like I said, personal preferences.
Yeah.
One will like it, one will dislike it. You can't make a game for everyone.
Yeah, and I've seen comments about the gunplay, that gunplay is a bit, mixed feelings. It's good, but again, this is going back to the 2042. A lot of people just see a lot of 2042 foundation in there, so they kind of compare it to that. I don't know, from what I've seen so far, gunplay looks fine. It's, 2042-ish, sure. But again, it's alpha, so I'm not gonna put too much stock in it because if shooting feels nice, that's all I need, honestly. You know, that's all I need. I'm not gonna go too deep. There's a big There's a big conversation happening about the classes, though. I've seen a lot of comments from the community about the classes. People do not really like the idea that support basically became a medic. So right now we have assault, you know, the aggressive class that just there to kill and destroy shit.
Yeah.
Then you have engineer, anti-vehicle class. Then you have support, which is basically medic/support, gives ammo and health. And I think I mentioned on the Patreon episode that when you drop a box as a support, it gives you health and ammo at the same time. So that's... And I remember Ray said on the Patreon that he doesn't like the idea that you kind of put everything into one class, into one basket. It kind of gets overbloated for the class. And then you have recon, which is basically recon. How you feel about...
If you want my opinion on this...
Yeah, how you feel about the support basically being a medic, too?
I really don't care.
Okay.
I really don't care. One thing that you mentioned that I didn't know, but I dislike is that one box for everything, that you heal and replenish ammo at the same time. I feel like you should separate it. Make sure that it's either or.
Okay. I posted a comment on Reddit because I want to, I don't know, felt like it. Reddit though. I proposed this. So if any developers are listening to this, which I know you are, if you listen, if you take my opinion, this is how I feel about it. This is what I want to propose to DICE developers. Separate, okay, put all the ammunition capabilities, you know, replenish ammo, all that kind of stuff, right? The support class, right? The thing that gives you support towards the other players, right? All those support features that we usually know from Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, whatever. Take all the support features and put it on the assault class. So we have assault/support, then we have engineer, then we have a medic class that is separate, right? We have a medic class that is separate, and then you have recon. The reasoning for that, the way I'm thinking, if you give ammunition for the support class, I think it supports the idea that assault class is supposed to be the aggressive type. Yeah, health is everything, is nice and so on, but the point is to be aggressive. And what do you need when you're aggressive? You need ammo. And if you want to do your best job, you have ammunitions with you, and you're being aggressive. You always replenish yourself, and you replenish your teammates. Now, to be amazing at your assault class with your ammunitions, you don't have health. That means you have to interact with the medic for you to provide the health so you can go back into the fight faster. And medic can be a separate class. Medic can be literally the healer, Medkits here, some specialized magical bubble that throws, it's a shield or something. I don't know, something like the defibs, something to make your teammates, heal faster. Whatever the case may be, come up with some ideas. I don't know, but that's how I'm thinking. And besides, for the last 10 years, which class you think is the least sexy, the played, in your opinion, Andre?
Probably recon.
Support, actually.
Support.
Because you have the snipers on the recon, right? And people do want to snipe. And support is basically, well, we have LMG and you have ammo. Yeah. It's boring. It's not interesting. It's not.
You know, I really enjoyed the support class in Battlefield 4.
I did originally, but now I'm thinking about it, like, as I have a different perspective now. If we are changing classes, right? I kind of want to make... I want to give... Okay, so let's say we have restricted weapons, right? To each class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each class has restricted weapons and maybe like some general ones available to everyone. So you know how support has LMGs and the ammunitions box? Give those LMGs and the munitions boxes to assault, you know? Give it to the assault, and they have a choice to be aggressive with assault rifles or LMGs. And they
I mean, isn't that how Battlefield 4 kind of worked? Because in Battlefield 4, you had more than just LMGs for the support class. You also had PDWs, I think, for example, or the battle rifles.
Assault had medkits in Battlefield 4.
Okay, but there was no assault class.
Yeah, there was.
No, it's called medic.
Wait, am I faded?
I think they started they started calling medic assault in Battlefield 1, I think.
No, it's called assault.
In Battlefield 4.
Yeah, it's called assault. It does have the it's called assault, but it does have the cross on it. Maybe that's why you call it medic. But that's what assault has always been to us. Assault always been that medic class since Battlefield 3, right? But I propose, don't make it into a medic. Make it into a support class. Give it the ammunitions, give it the LMGs, give it like, your grenade launchers or whatever the case may. Make it assault, be assault, and you have gazillion, you have an ammo box with you, so you can always replenish yourself and your teammates and keep moving forward. But what limits you is lack of medic capabilities.
No, I remember.
That's why you need a medic on you.
Tomaszki.
Yeah, go on.
The assault class in BF4 had assault rifles, carbines, shotguns, and DMRs. So you had multiple weapon types, not just one specific type.
Yeah. I remember that. And LMGs were locked to support class with the ammunitions. So that's why I propose, give the support class, or whatever, mix it with assault class. Don't make assault class the medic one. Make assault the assault one and give them ammo. But if you want to push towards the objective with maximum strength and advantages and everything, you can't heal yourself. If you want to fight, yes, you do have ammo forever to support yourself, sure. But you do have like... see it. You need a medic to support you, to give you health and everything, so you can push to the next objective, right? Yeah, you have ammo, but if you can't heal yourself fast enough, you need a medic for that. That's why Ray, for example, says that he misses when you're playing with friends and everyone playing different classes to create a class synergy and all that kind of stuff. This is why I think it's lacking. I give it to the support, the assault. Make a new class basically called Medic. Medic can focus on the healing for all the classes. Well, Assault is working basically a support class and just about pushing the objective, defending the objective with much ammunition as you can. Then you have anti-tank and vehicle. That's what I propose.
Okay,
because...
listen. You know how we are going to sum up what you're trying to say?
Yes, go on.
Go to the picture that I just sent you. Look at the second image. And then read the second sentence.
Only authentic with medic box as gadget. Is that the one?
Yes. I think that's what you're trying to tell everyone.
Yeah, maybe. Oh. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but I the more I think about it, I just don't think I like the idea of assault class just being a medic class. Because, people say, we still need ammunitions. 90% of the player base die before they run out of ammo as assault class. That's the thing. Like they die before they run out of ammo. So I'd rather give them the ammo, and they have to rely on the medic class for them to push the objective. Like, that's the way I'm thinking. So I don't know. Like, that's the way I'm thinking as a wannabe game designer. If we changing classes, at first I did not mind support being a medic too, right? At first I did not mind it. But now I'm thinking about it, I kind of do mind it. And I kind of have to agree with everyone else. The assault class kind of becomes detached from everything else. But if you give them the support capabilities, you give them the LMGs and the ammunitions box, and you make a separate class that is literally called medic, and you have engineer and recon, I think that's a better synergy, in a squad with classes and everything than assault being medic. That's where I see it.
Okay.
Or support being medic in that. That's what I'm thinking. And a lot of people do not agree with support being a medic. At first, I did not mind it. I don't care. I never really had an opinion. But now, as I'm, had time to think about it, to read what people think and so on, I kind of want to just, combine support class with assault and make a separate class just for medic, because it just makes sense to me in my head right now. So if any developer is listening, that's what I want in the future class. Well, okay, I'm checking what you linked. Is it one of the notes?
No.
I see. I see.
It's something completely different. But I thought I had to send it.
Yeah. I see it. Okay, so that's the classes.
Yes.
I propose that.
I propose. I don't give a shit.
Fair enough. So as you link that, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Immersion.
Immersion. It's actually a good topic. Yes.
Immersion.
Yeah.
So
you continue.
Yeah. So there's a lot of comments from the community, from watching the playtest, and the word immersion came in a lot. So people, when they play a Battlefield game, a lot of people, right, they want to be immersed into the experience. And when I say by immersed, by experience, they want to make it as I'm not going to use the realistic. And I'm going to use the word realistic. I'm going to use the word authentic.
Fits better.
Yeah. So people want an authentic military experience that is somewhat close to real life. Not maybe gameplay-wise, but visual style, which I fully understand. I fully agree with that. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not. Have you seen who posted that, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I'm not like, yeah. Anyway, so
I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. He's a douchebag, though.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, so people say about immersion, and one of the biggest. So certain people complained about squad outlines in the game. So when I say squad outlines, so like you have a player, right? And they have like a green outline around their body that you can see when you look at them and when they're like behind wall or something like that, so you know what they are and all that kind of stuff. HUD elements, right? To indicate, hey, he's a squad mate.
Yeah.
That's apparently immersion breaking, apparently. And they want a logo or a name above their heads instead.
No, I disagree. I think
I don't understand the thinking here.
It's not immersion breaking, but what I would like to see or want is let me remove clutter if I want it. Battlefield 4 introduced this, where you could either remove it completely or remove it when you aim down the sights, because let's say there is a player in front of you, an enemy player, and behind that building is a friendly player and he has the green outline because he's in your squad. That makes the enemy in front of you a little bit hard to see. That's the only issue I have with this, but it's definitely not immersion breaking, I can tell you that. Because, okay, let's go a little bit deeper into this. If this was immersion breaking, then 3D spotting would have also been immersion breaking.
Yeah.
My opinion. Because it's a modern shooter. let's just say it's modern technology or some stuff, you know. But if you think that outlines on friendly players is immersion breaking, then 3D spotting was too.
Yeah.
Because you do not have Doritos on your head in real life or whatever you want to compare it to.
Yep, I fully agree with you, because also I kind of prefer the outlines over the name, because at least I can see what they're doing, right?
Yes.
Right. Also, what's funny, right? People talk about this, right? Oh, outline is immersion breaking, but a name above their heads is not. You know, a little circle logos above their heads, about around 10 people or 3 people in your squad, is less immersion breaking than like outline. I don't understand that thinking. Why we're okay with this, but we're not okay with that? Yeah. I think the reason why people comment on stuff like that and they have a bitching session about, I think it's because they're really trying hard to replicate that Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 experience. Because I want this, and I just want more than graphics. Yeah. While ignoring all the, improvements we did in the last 10 years in video games about anything, right? Yeah, the gaming industry can be a shit show sometimes, but you cannot ignore that the gaming industry progressed a lot when it comes to game mechanics, game design, all that kind of stuff. Like, you cannot deny, there's a lot of improvements. Sure, not everything is improvement, but let's look at the positives. They did happen, I don't understand how that immersion breaking. And for example, the flag outlines in the world. So instead of looking at the minimap where the flag outline is, what the objective is, you have like I don't know what to call it, a little 3D outline.
Listen,
I don't know how to describe it.
Listen, I feel like that most of the discussions about immersion are stupid because you can go so far and also say the UI, the ticket counter is also immersion breaking.
Right?
You can go so stupidly into that, it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Mm-hmm. Why are we okay with this, but we're not okay with this, right?
In the end, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Yes, immersion is a considerable I don't know English here, but
it's a word.
Like I said, there's so much that you can. I guess it's also preference as well, but
see,
you can talk yourself so stupid.
Yeah, like you said, if someone doesn't like the outlines of the flags in the world, okay, give us an option to disable it. So those people can be. The reason why I want to keep my world outlines, of the flag, not because that means I can focus on playing the freaking game and not look at the minimap where the fucking flag position is. Oh, can I capture here? No, I have to move it here. And let me look at my minimap while I carefully position my soldier. Why I have to look at the minimap to carefully position my soldier? I want to position my soldier because it makes sense where the cover is, how the flag position is, right? And if I can see it in the world, where the outline is, I can calculate where the enemies will come from. Where I need cover, all that kind of stuff. Where can I put the ammunition box, the hell bar, so they don't destroy it, or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
I want to play the game. I want to play a first-person shooter. I don't want to play a minimap simulator where you have to look at the minimap all the time just to get any information. Let me look at let me chase the red dots on the minimap instead of the flag outlines. It's just. Also, if we talk about immersion, why do we have a minimap? Why do we have a minimap? Why do we need it?
Okay, listen, are we really going there?
Yeah.
Because fuck you. If we're going there, you know that this podcast could be 3 hours long, right?
Okay, yeah, let's go for another 20 minutes, I guess. Okay, what are you thinking?
But
okay, what are you thinking?
I say stupid.
Which part?
Let's just say the outlines and that it's immersion breaking is stupid. This is a topic that I don't know. No, let's just not talk about it anymore.
Okay.
It doesn't lead to anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it means anything. It's just there to help you play the game. You know, it's there to let you play the game. Sure, give us an option to disable, but I don't understand how that's immersion breaking. Because again, the squad outlines. Squad outline is bad, but the name above their heads is good. How is that the same thing, right? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And speaking of immersion break and other things, I don't want to talk about this, but we have to. People been complaining about there's loads of women in the game. Right. And I've seen some YouTuber, I'm not gonna mention his name. He made I didn't watch the video because I'm pretty sure he said the same thing I will probably say. Who fucking cares? It's a video game. And now I see comments like, oh, it's immersion breaking when the woman screams into my ear in a Battlefield game. I'm like, yeah, because she's a woman, she goes short. So, that's the point. You know, like, I don't understand. What do you mean there's a problem? I don't want women in my Battlefield games. Why? It's a video game.
You know what? You know what this kind of reminds me?
What?
Of a meme.
What's the meme?
The one soldier that is doing push-ups, and I think the drill sergeant asked, what isn't allowed here? And the guy says, racism.
Oh.
And then he says, and what did we learn? They're people now.
yeah.
That's how I feel like about talking about this. Listen, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care. I never cared. I actually liked the Battlefield 5 trailer when it came out, and I had the.
I did not mind it either. Yeah, but
it's a game in the end, and yes, you can talk about more immersion and being true to history.
Okay, you know what?
Like that, but I'm sick and tired of all of that.
You know what?
We can go there if you want to.
I get the complaints for example, Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1, whatever. It's like, oh, I don't want women in my Battlefield games, right? See, okay, maybe the way I was thinking back then, I think these people, what they try to do, like, explain themselves, but they're really bad at explaining themselves. I think that what, like, I kind of get, like, oh, it's a historical shooter, and if it's an alternative history shooter, sure, do whatever you want. I don't care, you know, have your women, all that kind of stuff, that's fine, right? Alternative over to setting, sure, have your women, cool. But if it's a wannabe historical accurate game, even though it's an arcade shooter, but it's trying to be historical, I get where the people might be coming from. I kind of get the idea. But when we're talking about a modern shooter, right, it's not really based on anything. It's a fictional setting, fictional based on reality, right? There's nothing. Video games are for everyone. There's loads of people, you know, especially Americans will probably think representation matters. Like, you might disagree with that, I'm sorry, but representation matters, right? If you make something normal, it'll be normal because that's the norm, right? It's just, if you put it there, women soldiers in the game, it will be normal, and it's been standard for the last 10 years. Remember when Call of Duty first time showcase, oh, we're gonna have women soldiers in the game. Everyone lost their shit because people were like saying, finally. And I remember back in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, I personally was asking, would be really cool to have female soldiers in Battlefield game. It's been long overdue. Let's fucking go. Let's do it. And they finally did it, and people were bitching about historical accuracy. Sure, historical games, fine. But when I see these comments, oh, I don't want women screaming in my ear that she needs a revive. How's that different from a man screaming this butts off saying, give me a fucking revive, bitch? How's that different, you know? How's that?
Yeah, you want my honest opinion on this?
Yeah,
my
go
honest
on.
opinion is, first, I really don't care.
I don't care either.
I want to play a game that is fun.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
That's what I want in the end. But I don't care. I just want to have fun. I do have my own beliefs and views on the whole, let's just say, wokeness and transgender and 10,000 genders or whatever you want to call it. And I'm not going to shove my views and beliefs down your throat because I just don't care. And if how do I put this? I only have so much time during the day to think about things and worry about things. And if I was also complaining about all of that, next to all the stuff that was going on, you know, I would be such a grumpy piece of shit, I think.
Well, yeah, and
it's just, in my opinion, it's just a waste of time. I can spend my time and my thoughts somewhere better. Where I actually want them.
Andre, how dare you?
Listen, stop. Listen, I'm a little bit rusty with my English, okay?
How dare you to be wrong?
I wish I had better words for it.
It's just,
But
it's just so dumb.
I just sum it up with I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's just so dumb. For example, I want Mateo.
Also, no one should care what my views and beliefs are. Right?
That's true. Yeah. I don't think anyone should care about mine. But
listen. How? Okay. Sorry. We
on.
have to go there. This is not a political podcast.
No,
by
it's
the way.
not.
I want to listen.
But it's so fucking dumb.
People need to learn this.
Yes.
Don't give a shit about what other people say and think. It just makes you miserable.
Yeah, that too.
For example, let's take Lanky as example. Let's just say one day he doesn't like me anymore. Why should I give a shit?
I don't like you every day. What's the difference?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't give a shit that you don't like me. You see, life is so much more enjoyable and calm when you just don't give a shit about what other people think, say, do, and whatever.
And I'm just gonna end this topic on this. So
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I fully get. Because listen, I will not be talking about this if the Battlefield community will not be talking about this. Like that's the thing. It's just what we're talking about is the reaction from the community, and this was one of the reactions. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I don't give a damn. Here's my political. Here's my views. I'm just gonna tell you right away. I'm just gonna tell you this. I don't give a damn if you're a guy, a woman, or transgender. I don't give a fucking shit. Be a good human being. That's all. And video games are meant to be played for everyone. Video games to be entertaining for everyone. Doesn't matter where you come from, what skin of the color and so on, or gender. I don't give a damn as long as you're a good human being that respects other human beings and we respect each other and we can have fun together and play some video games together. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit about everything else. And anyone that's complaining about women in a video game, especially in a Battlefield game, shut the fuck up. I don't give a damn. For example, I have a girlfriend that I've been in a long-term relationship for a really, really long time. I love her with all my heart. I care what she thinks. I care about her opinions. And at the same time, I want her to join me and play some video games with me. We play Fortnite together, and Fortnite is like a mishmash of everything. It's perfect for everyone, right? I want her to play Call of Duty with me. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't, and that's fine. But Call of Duty also has female soldiers, male soldiers, has fantasy soldiers, whatever the case may be. It's representation. And if she wants to be, if she wants to play as a female, let her play as a female. It's for her.
Yeah. I have closing thoughts on this.
Yeah.
If you have the time and energy to complain about all of that stuff, either seek employment or get a new hobby.
Seek employment? Good one. I like that. Good one. That's a good one.
That's just my honest.
That's a good one. I like that. Seek employment.
Listen, I currently have 50-hour work weeks. So why should I? I have to spend my time and money with something else other than that.
Oh, that's funny. Hey there, listener, me again. Sorry for interrupting you again. But if you're already this deep in this episode, I presume you enjoy our conversations. So why not check out our older episodes after you're done with this one?
Don't be a doobie.
Do a podcast of sort, right? We had some amazing conversations that are still relevant to this day, and we don't want you to miss them out. If you haven't already, go listen to our interview with big content creator you probably know, Westy for example, who was more than willing to have a conversation with us about Battlefield.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, "Angel does it again," and
that was something, right?
That was something. But you know what I mean? Like, the two didn't work. Like, you could have done specialists.
Or our recent interview with former DICE developer James Conner, who shared some amazing behind-the-scenes developer perspective on Battlefield franchise.
Listen to this podcast. It's awesome. I love Lanky. He's been a great resource to the Battlefield community for years now.
You're you're the only person that actually gave any compliment to me about anything regarding that. Long story short, we have some amazing episodes that are worth listening, and we're just happy that you're enjoying our discussions about Battlefield. And again, I want to thank you for listening, and please enjoy the rest of the discussion we're having right now. Okay, anyway, that's another topic. I really don't fucking care. People, please stop. Let's care about something more important than like game mechanics and, you know, cosmetics and microtransactions. Let's care about that, okay? That's more important than stupid digital pixels, if it's a woman or not. I don't give a fucking...
And to be honest, the image I sent you earlier about the 2042 skin.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The first comment.
Yeah.
I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
I find that hilarious.
Yeah, he's been known as that in the community. Yeah. People have been making comparisons since that specialist came out.
It's just so funny.
Oh, that's funny. There's also comments about skills-based matchmaking.
Fuck skill-based matchmaking. Yeah, I have an opinion on that.
Yeah. I have to agree.
You know, back in my days, we had servers that communities could host and had balancing plugins or admins who could switch people. But the goddamn computer does that now for you. And it makes my experience terrible. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Absolutely terrible. But
I wanted to make Donald Trump.
Yeah, I can hear that.
But I don't know.
My opinion is, because it's probably going to be some skill-based matchmaking, but because it is proven that skill-based matchmaking does improve retention for a lot of players. And I understand where the developers are coming from. There was no skill-based matchmaking in the playtest, right?
What did you just say? Can you repeat that? Skill-based matchmaking does what?
It increases retention to
retention.
Retention, yes. So it
increases retention.
Increases retention. It makes people play more. That's a scientific fact.
Skill-based matchmaking also increases my will to kill myself.
Right. So that's the problem with skill-based matchmaking. When it's overtuned as fuck, for us good players, it's a punishment. The more you get better at the game, it becomes a rank match every match, and it's like you don't really see the improvement that you don't. Did you improve? I fuck knows. I'm playing against top players in the world. Like, well, I don't fucking know.
There's one issue I have with skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
That is a recent thing that I can recall that is bad about it. I was playing Modern Warfare 3 with friends. And we played the whole evening. We had like 10 rounds or something like that. Always finished top of the scoreboard. We won around 50% of the matches, let's just say it like that, because, you know, skill-based matchmaking tries to keep you at around 50% win-loss. And, you know, it also takes KD into consideration. But two of my friends, they are not good at the game. And at the end of the evening, they just told me, Andrew, we're not going to play with you again because we're getting stomped while you're carrying and it's not fun for us. And you're sweaty as fuck. So there's that. That's one reason why I don't like skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah, the reason, the way the skill-based matchmaking works in Call of Duty is a bit aggressive. Fully agree. It is aggressive. And I would like to have... what the fuck? I put something on my computer. I agree it's overtuned as fuck. But I do agree with the developers, it needs to have some sort of skill-based matching, but it has to be loose as fuck. It has to be really loose. Because with loose skill-based matchmaking, because I'm pretty... You know what? People saying we need server browser in the game, I'm pretty certain it's not coming unless it's Portal. Unless it's Portal, it'll have skill-based... it will have server browser. But
it will never be like it used to be. It will never come back.
No, different times and so on. And it's just, yeah. So we're not going to have a server browser on launch day. That's not a leak, that's not a whatever. That's just my personal opinion and a guarantee that I'm telling you right now. It's just because the way the times are. If you don't agree with that, I'm sorry, fam. The only thing I can help you with that is just go grab some coffee and smell it. You know, that's the only way I can tell you about that. There will be no server browser on launch day. It will be matchmaking, and the only thing that will have a server browser will probably be Portal, because it's Portal is about community, creations, all that kind of stuff. You kind of need server browser for that. You can't really have matchmaking.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
When I got 2042 a couple of weeks ago, and I started Portal, and I saw a server browser, I had 3 question marks above my head, and thought, what is this?
What is this ancient language of?
Yeah, exactly.
Why these signs? Ancient pyramids and shit,
It's aliens.
Yeah, aliens must be. So yeah. Listen, I fully agree with you. Skill-based matchmaking is a bit shit. Okay, it's absolute shit. But we need it to make it loose. Just make it loose as possible so there's some sort of our balance once in a while, right? It's not going to be perfect. It will never be perfect. Because I think Ray once said it. I can't remember what he said on the Patreon episode or something like that. Or he said on the public. But I remember he said, listen, you have to remember, yeah, skill-based matchmaking does track every match you do, and then puts you against players that are of similar skill level, but you're not gonna perform good every match, and that's what skill-based matchmaking doesn't realize. It can't really predict the human element. Yeah, you might be good, but maybe one time you're just like you're not feeling it, right? Maybe you're a bit hungry, maybe you're a bit tired, maybe you're sleepy, or whatever the case may be, right? And you're not gonna be performing at your best.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? I'm chugging this fucking monster, operating on 3 hours of sleep. Now imagine trying me to play Call of Duty Warzone right now, ranked. Like, let's see how well I will do, right? I'm not feeling well right now, but imagine me playing right now. That's what skill-based matchmaking doesn't really understand and will not get. That's why I want skill-based matchmaking should be loose. And there's a lot, and the reason why I even brought skill-based matchmaking into this conversation is because there's comments from the community. There's some people asking for the skill-based matchmaking to be a thing in the next Battlefield game.
You know what you just made me think?
What?
Open the game, let there be a 5-question survey for how should your skill-based matchmaking be tuned today? And one of the options, I don't feel well today.
for like the bottom option, I don't feel well today. Second one, I feel okay.
But let me play.
The middle one's like, I had healthy 7 hours of sleep.
I have crippling depression.
Oh, that's like at the bottom. Then you have like fourth option, like on the top. I slept for 8 hours and I'm well fed. And the top option is like, I'm addicted to Adderall as fuck. This is my 3rd monster drink. I'm ready to go and kick some ass. It's just, actually, you know what? That would be revolutionary. How do I feel today? Oh, you feel that way? Okay, we'll try to maximize to what you want today. Of course,
let him have a good time today. He doesn't need to sweat too much. Yeah. He went to the gym today. He's tired.
Oh god, that would be so fucking funny. But yeah, some people are asking for skill-based matchmaking. So that's my opinion. Like, skill-based matchmaking is important. You need it. Don't get me wrong. You do need it.
I gotta admit,
but it's very loose.
I gotta admit that, at least from, the tiny amount that I've been playing 2042, it doesn't seem to be that strong, or that aggressive, rather.
No, it's not. Battlefield 2042 is barely, yeah. There is something, I know, there is, but it's so loose, it's just like, whatever.
Let me just say fuck Activision.
Yeah, Activision, like, completely overtuned it. And there's an interview from former developer from Activision. He was one of the lead designers for the skill-based matchmaking, and he explains what was the thought process back then. And he talking about how what's the problem with the current version, right? When you created back then, right, it was like you had a different perspective, and now when you like give it years to to sim a little bit and see how the community feels and everything, you have kind of like, okay, maybe it should be like this now. And he was talking about like, listen, if you're gonna keep the same matchmaking systems, at least showcase or give more XP or lower XP depending on the level of the lobby, right? or display your MMR for people to say, oh, what's the strength of the lobby, and so on. And if you play well, you're gonna get more XP, you're gonna get more rewards, or whatever the case may be, right? There's ways to optimize this to make it less shitty. Because
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, and the way it is right now, we don't give a shit. We have no idea. Just having fun. Oh, you get your ass handed to you? Well, you must be shit.
I think there is a sweet spot, because if skill-based matchmaking is too aggressive, if skill-based matchmaking is too aggressive, I think it would negatively impact your player retention. Actually, fun little sorry. For example, 2 weeks ago, I got this microphone. Remember the fried chicken guy?
Yeah, of course. How can I forget your chicken guy?
Yeah, you know why he... We talked about Call of Duty. And
yeah, we did. I think you mentioned on the last episode, I think.
The reason why he doesn't play anymore is because of skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah. It was netcode and skill-based matchmaking. That's what it was.
Yes.
But yeah. Yeah, that's my opinion about skill-based matchmaking. So yeah. Other than that, there's not. I'm looking at the list right now. It's like, what we discussed was the general biggest topics in the community regarding this alpha. And there's some people talk about weapons and movement, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna say this: until you play the game, until we play the game, I don't think we have any right to say how the gameplay feels regarding movement, guns, and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of placeholders, a lot of 2042 stuff in there, and animation's not finished. I get that, so I don't want to talk about it too much because we can talk about we can have a conversation for an hour about all this, and then the next playtest is gonna be all changed, right? It's like we don't know. Yeah. So that's the thing. So I don't want to put too much stock into that, but I do want to talk about the community's reaction to this general idea, like the general biggest topics that I found that people are discussing that will take a bit of time to digest and change some stuff, because it's kind of hard to change the aesthetics of the game, for example, than some balance numbers or animation or a particular gun, right? It's like it's a bit different conversation, and and I rather talk about this kind of topics now, early in the playtest, than before the game comes out. Before the game comes out, there's nothing to change. What you're gonna get, right?
Yeah.
So I rather have these kind of conversations now, so they can change something. Like, for example, the classes thing. The classes. I rather make changes to the classes now in the labs than 2 months before the game comes out. At least we have time now to simmer, to test around, see how it works, and I stand by that. I propose we put support class into assault, and we have a separate class to replace the support class, which is the medic. That's why I propose. That's my opinion. But yeah, other than that, is there anything else you want to talk about, Andre? So anything that is on your mind and so on? About how people feel about all this? No, that's fine then.
Not really.
Yeah. So new playtest later this week. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's gonna it. So that's all we want to talk about. So I'm just gonna say this. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for interacting with us. Thank you for everything. Don't forget to check out Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier, where we have amazing content, amazing conversations and everything. We have 40 plus episodes for you to listen about everything that was on our minds. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Delta Force, some other games, or some movies and so on. Like there was a conversation about Taylor Swift, funny enough. I don't know.
I'm Daniel.
Yeah, it was me and Angela talking about it. So, and we can't remember, Taylor Swift branded toilet paper. Yeah, so there's some wacky conversations that happened there. Like, yeah, so behind the scenes stuff.
Has she considered seeking employment?
She's been considering seeking employment for a different company, that's for sure.
Yeah, I see why.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started. Yeah. I forgot to mention that there was a lot of conversations that Medal of Honor Warfighter, this alpha is giving a lot of Medal of Honor Warfighter vibes. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll mention.
What
for
do
the
you
next.
think about this?
Yeah, I do get Medal of Honor Warfighter vibes in some sections of the game. Yeah, I do get.
You are the biggest Medal of Honor warfighter enthusiast that I've ever come across.
Probably. I did have a recent hit tweet that got 1,300 likes.
Famous.
Yeah, famous, very famous. Which basically promoting the podcast. I just had a hit tweet, and basically I said, because we have like a faction that is like NATO, right?
Yeah.
Go wild with the cosmetics. I want Denmark, Spain, France, Lithuania, Poland, Finland, like any like those military, countries, like give me that, like, and include like soundtracks from like particular, like if you have a Scottish soldier, like I don't know, in the battle pass, right? Give me some music for the soldiers, whatever the case may be. Like, maybe let me customize the experience to like that represents the multinational organization that is NATO. Like, you have the opportunity to go wild with the cosmetics, not wild as like Call of Duty wild, fantasy wild, but just like different branches in different countries. Come on, let me customize my flag and patch and everything. Like, just go wild with that, because the opportunities are endless. With this, with these kind of factions.
I agree.
Yeah, so that was my hit tweet on Twitter, and it's still doing numbers. It's doing numbers,
Famous.
Yeah, famous, very famous. But other than that, yeah, I have nothing else. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for interacting with us. Thank you for listening to our rants or whatever this was. I don't know. Like I said, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep and Monster Energy drink.
At least it had structure.
It had structure. Yeah, it had structure.
And remember, Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. It does help the show, and more episodes are coming as usual. And yeah, I'm proud of the show we built. I'm proud of what we built so far. I'm really proud. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next one. I say bye. If you want to say bye, Andre, up to you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you next time.